Okay, we are back, and actually, we're actually quite excited to have you here. So Joshua Hess is a NICU nurse at UPMC, and I'm really intrigued, Joshua, about how we can get more nurses to attend conferences. What are
In these
and
conferences.
these conferences in particular where collaboration is key. Where they're really coming here to work to change processes, make new policies, and take things back to the bedside, which we know cannot be done without our nursing colleagues, as major stakeholders in all the processes in the NICU.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think the thing that's forgotten, the NICU's so specific to nurse doctor collaboration.
Yeah.
So that's what this really is. Like I did one of the speakers yesterday, I was like, wow, that's something that our nurses really need to hear so that they can factor into like that decision making to that process that happens.
What was that pearl?
So that was with our BPD, which
Yeah.
is like, the golden ticket of NICUs. That's kind of like a big thing for a lot of level fours.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like hey, just because this says, just because a blood gas says this, that doesn't mean that's the situation. So that was like a really cool thing. And I think more nurses need to hear that because we rely on the physicians, but at the same time, like they're looking to us too. We're there 24/7. We are
Absolutely.
there with the baby. They want to know your input. So it's really cool to say, like, see those physicians giving in, being like, well, not even giving in, but just saying like, yeah, like this doesn't mean anything to us necessarily. We need to know what's going on with the baby. We need to
Yeah.
know what your day looks like. So it was really cool on that aspect. But no, I think nurses need to come to these things. It's intimidating because you're around all the doctors.
Mm.
Our unit specifically, if Dr. Smith is there, it's not Dr. Smith, it's John. And that is what makes it way more welcoming, and that's where the collaboration really goes. And what you see is there's collaboration everywhere here, and you're networking, you're getting ideas. We talked about offline about CHOP, and like the first thing I did was, what do you guys do for this? And that's what you're supposed to do with these things. So they're way more fun than I think people give them credit, because you just learn so much, and it's like information overload. So it's really fun on that aspect.
Let's back up. So how did you find yourself involved in the CHNC and deciding to come?
Yeah, so our hospital's really focused on CHNC. So I'm a nurse manager, and I work a lot with our medical director, and she was very much like, "Hey, we need to get more people to this conference. A lot of our physicians go, not a lot of our nurses go.
Mm.
Our unit director comes a lot, but I was like, I think this is the year I want to go. Like, I feel confident. I feel comfortable. I really want to branch out and see what's out there. I did a conference a few years ago, truly based off location, and it was eye-opening of like really what a conference does.
Yeah. I
So,
love that.
yeah,
I wonder, this is a loaded question,
yeah.
but in an effort to really get lots of nurses to conferences, did you have any institutional support to be here?
Yeah, so I did get support to come out. That was really great. We did a poster. I should have said that too. So we have a poster presentation, which was kind of like our in. We really wanted
Yeah.
to get here, and we're like, okay, we did that, and our institution was very much like, yeah, go represent us,
Sure.
show this poster. So like there's support on that aspect, that they wanted us to come and really show our brand, because we have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
So we have our poster, we have that, and then when you come here, like it's really just exciting to like represent that and say like, well, I love what I do and I love where I work. What do
Yeah.
you love about where you work?
Oh, I love that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You're the kind of beacon for what your unit is doing. I think that's really neat. I actually think C-suites and things underestimate the power of sending their really dynamic and engaged people out there
Yeah.
into the world. Tell us about your poster.
Yeah, so our poster is on safe sleep, which is like, another, it's like in that BPD realm. It's like a something that you talk about, but we basically were realizing that we don't do safe sleep like anymore. Like
Very common. Very
right?
common.
So early in my career, big deal. People did it as a project. Situational changes. We changed out of like really focusing on it, and then what we realized are our county. So we're in a county on the west side of Pennsylvania. It's the big county, Allegheny County. We found out like safe sleep deaths are really high,
Yeah.
and what we're really bad at, or were bad at, was showing them
Modeling.
yeah,
That's it.
showing them what to do because they go home and they need a gel pillow behind the head because it looks like a pillow and we do it in the NICU. And so we did a whole reset, and that's really what the poster is about. Like, let's start it over and let's start checking our compliance and seeing like, okay, we re-educate the staff. Can they mimic this? Can they teach the families this stuff? Everyone likes I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people like the little stuffed animals, the little octopus. So that's not safe sleep.
Nope.
And so we really started re-educating families about that and modeling that behavior and being like, hey, this is a good thing. You've reached this milestone.
So now we're going to
stay.
do safe sleep.
So now we're going to do safe sleep. And so our audits were like, patients in unsafe sleep environments, crazy high. And now, like, our last document, we were able to sneak in September on there. We had no patients in unsafe sleep environments that qualified for it. So that was like a huge thing for us. And we'd kind of been working on it for like over a year. And it's house wide. So that's another big thing for us too. It's our whole hospital. We're a children's hospital. And we, serve that great area, but that's just like the stepping point and how we can kind of branch out. So we're excited about that.
Curious, when do you guys decide
was
that
my
your babies
question.
are ready for safe sleep? What's that kind of
What's the
clinical
cutoff?
criteria?
Yeah.
A
So
launching pad for home, I assume?
yeah. So it's kind of like when you get to that point where you're like, okay, well, you don't have anything that disqualifies you from safe sleep. You don't have oxygen support. You don't have, a device that has to keep you upright or anything like that. Like, you've reached that point where like, okay, well, we should be doing this now. So that's kind of there's kind of a lot to that, but we're trying to do it earlier and like making sure our medical team is putting in the order so that we can also
there's a whole
reinforce that too.
order.
Yeah.
An order for safe sleep.
Must be in safe sleep. Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
You make it in order.
So easy.
Right. Right. It's in the order. I have to
It's
do
in
it.
there. I have to do that. I really, really like that. And I really like how you underscored. I mean, nurses all over this country, in NICU, all over the world, are doing projects, right? Like, that's a lot of those bedside projects are nursing driven. So yeah, come submit them, share them, talk about what you're doing, and then we don't have to reinvent the wheels. Every unit trying to do their own, educational materials or outreach when they already exist. I think that's really, really exciting.
And I think this story also tells us that nurse researchers or nurse clinical research collaborators should be empowered to reach out to their institutions for support, should be empowered to join research teams, should be empowered to come talk to the Incubator podcast about their research.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on, I think you really talked about it. It sounds like there's a culture in your unit that is not so hierarchical, which kind of allows for this collaboration. And that's very meta, I think, of what we're seeing in the conference here. But I mean, we have to change the way we communicate, the way we bring stakeholders to the table. But that's a culture shift. I think the NICU does it better than a lot of units in the hospital, but I'm not sure we're there yet. So thank you for underscoring that.
Yeah. Our director, who's amazing, she started in adults, and she said that was one of the bigger things that was hard to comprehend, of not referring to this physician as Dr. X. And they're like, no, I'm just Jim. Like, it's Jim. Like, Dr. X is coming. No, it's Jim. Like, so that actually that's a start for the culture for sure.
I love that.
Thank you so much for joining us and for telling us everything you've been doing at the conference, and for really, hopefully, inspiring more nurses to join us and do the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for what you guys do. This is awesome.
Oh, our pleasure.
Thanks.
Enjoy the conference.
Thanks.